Alright, let's talk about step 2. Yes indeed, but wait, there's more. Here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to have your Aplia page open if you have not already done so. Once again, I will pause, and I encourage Mr. or Mrs. Substitute to pause the video too to make sure everyone is on the same page. And I'm back. Okay, so what you're going to need to do in Aplia is we are going to work on two of the work-togethers, work together 1 and work together 2 on our own, and then you're going to complete the application problems 1 and 2 on your own as well. Now, before we start that, I suggest you do this. Go up here to the top to where it says Course Materials. Click on that, and then the very first link that you've got is Chapter 1 Textbook. Click on that. It's going to open a web-based PDF file so that you have access to these Chapter 1 information just in case you need to go back and look, namely at the chart of accounts, or there's also some additional information if you need a more visual reference than my plain Jane black and white notes. That's just there for your benefit. You do not have to go back and do that. However, I strongly encourage you using all the tools given to you. Now, I'm going to go back here to my link up at the top, go here to Course Home, and the first thing we're going to look at is Work Together 1. Click on that link. We are not going to do the on your own, but we are going to do the Work Together. Work Together 1, when it loads, is going to pull up a basic calculation here for the accounting equation. Now, you can get into the habit of clicking this link right here where it says click here to review the instructions, but all this does in this case is give you an exact snapshot of what you're already looking at. So all we're looking to do here is to complete the equation. So blank equals 3,000 plus 8,000. So right here, in order for my equation to stay in balance, it has to be, 11,000. That way my assets equal my liabilities plus owner's equity. Here my assets equal 10,000 and my owner's equity equals 6. Therefore my liabilities have to equal 4,000. This one's a little bit bigger number here. I've got my assets equaling 63,000 and my liabilities equaling 35,000. So therefore my owner's equity has to be, actually I'm going to have to get my calculator here, 28,000. So now when I add these two up and compare it to this one, my assets equal my liabilities plus owner's equity. And all good, right? Alright, so now with yours down at the bottom looks a little bit different. You need to hit save and continue, and then we'll go back here to course outline, and we're going to go to Work Together 1-2. Now, Work Together 1-2, and if I'm going too fast, please tell someone to pause the video so that we're not going too crazy. In this case, we're going to just include pluses and minuses to indicate the classification on whether it's increased or decreased. Now here, we actually have some transactions, so I'm going to have to use my instruction page and go back and forth. Mine's a little bit more difficult than yours. So, transaction number 1, bought supplies on account. Okay, I've got to look at assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. It's not even broken down by accounts. I'm just looking at those three categories. Supplies, if I look back at my notes, is a asset. So because assets were increased. Okay, so when we're looking at our equation, remember, we're just looking at plus and minuses. We're just looking at keeping it in balance. So bought supplies on account, let's do it one at a time. Supplies is an asset. So I know if I'm increasing that side, then when I go in and look at my instructions, sorry, I got to bounce back and forth. The other one is on account. Now, on account means I'm buying it now and paying for it later, which is also known as liability. You are correct. So if I added to this side, what do I have to do to this side? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? You're right. We're adding to that side as well. Well done. Way to go. Alright, let's look at number 2. I received cash from owner as an investment. Alright, I'm going to break down this transaction. I received cash, which means the account I'm looking at is cash. Cash is also known as a asset. Yes, you're correct. And if I received cash, cash went up or down? Cash went up. Correct. The other account comes from the owner. Owner, also known as the owner's equity section, or the capital account, which we'll get to later. And if I increase this side, I have to also increase that side. Now notice, this is just like the transactions we did. The only difference is there are no dollar amounts here. The dollar amounts don't even matter. All I'm looking at is keeping the equation in balance. Number 3, paid cash for insurance. Alright, now this one's a little tricky. I paid cash, which we know is an asset, for insurance. Do you remember what insurance is classified as? It's not any kind of a debt, and it has nothing to do with the owner. Insurance, just like cash and supplies, is also an asset. So in this case, I'm going to both increase and decrease my asset side. And if I look at it, plus plus, I'm in balance. Plus plus, I'm in balance. Plus and minus and nothing on this side, I'm still in balance. Everything's still good. Alright, let's look at my last one. Paid cash on account. Alright, here I bought it on account. Here I'm paying for it on account. So if I'm paying cash, cash goes up or down. You are correct. Cash goes down. And as far as my liability, or as my on account, I'm paying off that debt. Therefore, my liability also goes down. Sweet. Look at that. Plus, 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 minus, minus, minus. Equations all in balance, and everything is good. Yours down here somewhere should say save and continue. Make sure you click that. That way you get credit for it. Then we're going to go back to the course outline. Now, your last assignment is going to be doing the Chapter 1-1 application problem. Click on that, and it's going to pull up something similar to what we did earlier about filling in the blanks to make sure the accounting equation is in balance. Once you're done with that, click Save and Continue, and go back to the course outline. And then, and then last, it'll be Chapter 1-2 application problem, and it'll be something similar as well. This time we're just going in and we're adding the plus and minus, and we're also adding dollar amounts. Now, let's look at this one because it's going to give us our example up here. Calvin Parrish is starting Parrish Repair Shop, a small service business. Uses the following accounts, which are all given to you up at the top. Use the form below to complete this problem. Now, you'll see cash, supplies, and prepaid insurance. Those are the same. This time I have two different accounts payable accounts. I have one that's 5-Star Supply and one that's Riverland Supply. Make sure you look at the difference there. And then the last one is my capital account. The first transaction, which is done for you over here, received cash from owner as an investment, $3,000. It's important that you fill in zeros just like we did before anytime an account is not used. The beginning balances were all 0. Next, I'm going to fill in zeros going all the way across. Nothing done there. So now my new balance of cash is $3,000. My new balance of capital is $3,000. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Let's do number 2 together. Number 2 says, paid cash for insurance, $1,600. So if I paid cash for insurance, I'm going to use my cash account and my insurance account. Right here at number 2, I'm going to either increase or decrease cash $1,600, and then I'm going to increase and decrease prepaid insurance $1,600. Anything else that's not used, put zeros across the board, and then bring my new balances down right here. It's important that you follow this same pattern that's up here, bringing zeros across and bringing zeros down. I don't know why it won't let me put a 0 there, so never mind. Do it all the way down at the bottom, and then you'll get your final balances down here at the bottom. After that, it says calculate the new balance for each account, and before going to the next transaction, make sure the accounting equation is still in balance. That's important. One thing that you can always make sure that the equation is in balance is by whatever the balances are here, here, and here, get a total, and then get a balance here, here, and here, and get a total. These three should equal those three. If they don't, go back and fix it. When you're done, hit save and continue down here, and you are officially done for the day. Please be nice for the substitute. Please complete both of these because I will expect them both due when I get back so we can move on to the next section of transactions. If you have any questions, feel free and post on Edmodo, and I will try my best to answer any of them. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Friday.